Alrighty. Yabba dabba doo. This is YieldMaxMindset coming to you here again. This is going to be year 2, week 9. All right. So if you happen to be listening to this video, I thank you for dropping by, listening, viewing this content. Whether you agree with my investment strategy or not, I appreciate the feedback from each and every one of you. Please like and share this video. You don't have to subscribe. You can watch, but I do appreciate the likes and comments. I really appreciate you all's comments. So thank you for taking your time out of your day to drop some ink and type and text in the comment section. All right, let's get to it. As many times before, I said, let's make this a short video. And the video ends up being a movie. So we're going to go through our positions, review our content, hit our Q&A, and let's see if we can get this done at least an hour, okay? If we get it under an hour, then y'all got to drop some likes. All right, let's go. All right, so you can see here my individual RobinHood account sits at $63,211. All right. Live, we're up $137. For the day, we're up $1,290. For the week, we're down $1,090. For the past month, we're down $8,384. For the past 3 months, we're up $6,145. Year to date, we're up $13,943. For the past year, we're up $31,367. And all time, we're up $29,299. All right. Buying power, as you can see, is at $38,721.98. All right. Just a quick thing. If you want to see my transactions on Friday, I think I dropped 3 shorts videos showing my buys and sales of my positions, and that'll sort of get you up to date a little bit. But let's get a little detail here. All right, so we can see that our available margin to use is at $153,610. We have used $114,888. So the difference between that should be this 38,721. All right. All right. So our buffer is at $16,238 for 26.7%. All right. All right. So our interest rate, Fed cut the interest rate the other week. So you can see now we're at 4.75% with a daily interest of 15.46. All right. Why does that say 5.05? Anyway, that's supposed to be 5%. But anyway, all right. So you can see that the value in our account, even though it shows 63, when you consider the margin and the value, it's between 100,000 and $1 million. And we've been charged 4.75% interest on that. And once again, if you have gold membership, your first $1,000 is interest free if you're using margin. So that means you can borrow $1,000 or right under $1,000 and not be charged one single penny for using margin. Basically, you can borrow $1,000, pay it back in a few months with your dividends, and just repeat the cycle. Earning money, borrowing money without having to pay one single penny because it's interest free. All right. And the minimum requirement to start a margin account is $2,000. All right. some suggest that you really don't start using it until around you get 10,000 in your account, then turn margin on. I think I had about $5,000 of value in my account when I turned it on, but I think there was actually 12,000. But AMC and Dogecoin were down, so I only had a value of 5,000. All right, so available to withdraw from this account. Let's see, sits at $12,428. That's $12,428. That's what we can withdraw from this account. All right. So I don't know. Yeah. All right. So let's get to our positions. All right. First up is Coney. Coney right now. Right now it is 12:47 Eastern Standard Time and 12:47 Central Standard Time. All right. So right now in the overnight market, Coney is down 3 cents, $6.31. Our market value is at $75,720. We are down total return of $51,816. Our average cost is $10.63. We did add 400 shares to this position. We had 11,600, so we added 4,000, not 4,000. We added 400 shares to this position, giving us 12,000. What was that? 11,600. All right. So a lot of you is like, well, how is he going to continue to add Coney? What's his strategy here? All right. Try not to take up too much time. The ultimate limitation, well, my thought and philosophy with investing in these dividends is simply, if you took $150,000, I like to say anywhere between 120 to 150, but we're gonna go with 150. So hypothetically, if you were to be buying into Coney now at this price, which I wish I had gotten in around this price. If I was to invest $150,000 in the Coney right now at $6.31, oops, 150,000. Because my thing is, if you take $150,000, or whether you diversify it over different funds that are more on the high yield side, you get on the conservative side, the figures sort of change. But if you on the high yield side, let's just say even 630, right? So that's 23,800 shares, right? 23,000. We're gonna just say 800 even, right? Times the last payout, which was 13, I think 45, right? So that right there is $3,200 if it's averaging 13 cents. That's $3,200 a week, right? So you say times 4, that's $12,800 a month, right? Let's say what would we say that was 23,800. All right, let's say it was on the more weaker side where it only paid 9 cents. All right, that's $2,142 a week averaging. For 4 weeks, that's $8,500, right? Now, that's just on $150,000 generating you $8,500 a week. I mean, a month. Now, if you got a decent conservative lifestyle, $8,500 a month should take care of most people's lifestyle. Now that's not including if you were to start making deductions, right, of federal taxes on your dividends. If you paid your tithes, if you believe in the word of God and pay your tithes, and any insurance that you may have. All right, let's say that's $2,500, right? All that a month. You're still living out $6,000. So that's been my philosophy. If you take $150,000 and put it into any of these positions that pay a high yield ETF on the high side or the upper side, you probably can take on one that has a medium range, right? You can live off this, in my opinion. My opinion. That's my opinion. So getting back to this because I won't take too long. My thing is $150,000 invested or capping at 15,000 shares. If I get 15,000 shares of Coney, I won't buy any more Coney, period, once I reach the threshold of 15,000 shares. In order to acquire more shares of Coney, I will have to sell off some of my older shares and cycle it that way, but not adding anything past um, 15,000 shares or $150,000 in any one position. So, y'all like, why is he still adding? Well, this is the reason why I still add, because I believe in my head, even if I'm delusional, that $150,000 invested in any one position that pays a decent uh, dividend, you can retire on at just $150,000. Old time, you had to have at least $1 million, right, to get $1,000 a month. Here we're talking a simple $150,000 can get you anywhere between $6,000 and $8,000 a month. That's why people are like, well, what about this right here? Why are you down? I don't care. This right here is a holding position that guaranteed me weekly dividend payout. And in 12 to 18 months, you can have your total return, right? You can pull your money out and let this just continue to generate house money. That's my thinking. It may be inaccurate, it may be flawed, but that's my thinking. And so I'm going to test this philosophy out and see if it works. Yes, I have other positions. Um, I won't necessarily get, at least not now. I won't be trying to intentionally get it up to 150,000 or 15,000 shares, but ultimately, I'm going to try and get 15,000 shares eventually. All right. And I don't necessarily have to get it in Coney all of a sudden because I do have other positions that can make that up. But I do believe that one position, and let's just say the worst position, I ain't gonna say it's the worst, but Alta is at what 496, right? Let's just do this and we're gonna get moving. 150. Alta is 494.96 right now. If you were to do that right now, boom, that's 30,241 shares. 30,241 shares. I believe it paid out 0808, something like that. It's close. It may be off. So that's $2,442 maybe a week, right? Times four. That's even more than what Coney is giving me because of the price that you get in, right? And the amount that is paid out. Some people are like, man, OT's going down, OT's going down, because people are afraid of losing their capital. They don't like seeing that capital depreciate. That's just how some people are. I don't really care in so much about the capital going down because it's just the number of shares that has me a holding position. And once I get the initial capital back through 10, 12 months, well, 12 to 18 months, I like to say, I got my money back and I can move on, leave that position holding because it's just a printing machine to printing me money every week, every month. You know, yeah, I may be down 50,000. At some point, Coney may recover, and if some point it don't, I will have gotten my initial capital back, and that's how I look at it. Because if I'm holding Coney for 5 years, right, I'll get my money back before 2 years is up, right? 2 years or 3 years up, and the rest of it will be just house money, and I can take that money and build up another position, or just continue to do whatever. But that's the thing. Now I understand people put their hard-earned money in there in that initial, and they like to keep that initial. That's great. If you feel that way, that's cool. But I do realize that if I hold it for 12 to 18 months, I'm likely going to have my initial capital back. Now, if you keep adding, you keep resetting the timeline, right? So you can't invest 5 months ago and then you decide to put a big chunk in there in the next month 6 and say, oh, it's gonna be a while. Well, you just reset the timeline because you. So if you made your first initial deposit of 10K, then you got to wait that out. But if you do 10K and then in 2 months you add another 3K, well, you just reset the timeline. So, all right, cool. Let me move on. Quit talking. All right. All right, let's get to the dividends on Coney. All right, so got paid this week in Coney. For a moment there on Friday night, I didn't think I got my Coney because the notification never showed up on my phone that said Coney came through. You know, I saw all my other positions, but I didn't see Coney. So I said, I'm going to wait till Saturday morning, see if it comes across. Nothing. But when I check my history, it did show that I got paid my dividends for Coney. So I would have dropped that video that Friday night. But anyway, I had done too many videos on Friday already. So, you know. All right. So at the time, we had 11,600 shares of Coney. It paid 13.1345, which gave me 1,560 shares and $1,560.20, right? That's what we got on Coney. All right, let's move along. All right, next we have ICOI is at 29.50 at the close of market last week. All right, our market value is at $47,200. We are down $7,118. We have an average cost of $33.95. That's down from $37 and something. I don't remember exactly what it was. So that basically we just doubled the number of shares we had, which was 800, and we added another 800. I think we wanted to get more than that because it doesn't. I've reached my minimum target goal for the month, but I haven't reached my max. I wanted to reach the max. It's saying that I'm at about 17K. I wanted to get it at about 20, and so that means I may end up making an additional purchase in this position here, or I may find another position. But anyway, so let's look at our dividends. I think we got paid this week. All right, so here's the 800 shares I bought. I bought at $30.60. All right, so that was $24,480. All right, let's get the dividends. All right, so we had 800 shares. It paid $3.94, which gave me $3,148.38 in ICOI. All right, so we may, just because of this number here, we potentially, I don't know when or if, I may add another 400 and make this an even 2,000 shares. And I think that may get me where I need to be. And I'll be done other than nibbling. And we'll start to reduce this debt and get this margin to a reasonable amount. I probably will never have my margin down to zero. If I do, it'll be for a short period of time. That's the philosophy going in now because I'm still trying to build. The ultimate goal, just for you all hearing me. So my ultimate goal was to have 8,500, was to be averaging about 8,500 per month going in, trying to finish the year out to get 100,000 in dividends, right? I realized when I got ICOI that, okay, I can actually go beyond that. So then the goal became 15 to 20K a month going into 2026. And that's what we're trying to do. We get that. We're at a comfortable pace where I feel if something happens, I can rely upon the residual passive income that I'm getting from these dividends. I feel comfortable with that amount. All right. All right. So that's our ICOI, and that is by Bitwise. All right, moving on. All right, next we got OT. It's at $496. Our market value is at $7,440. We're down $3,152. Our average cost is $706. for 1,500 shares. All right, let's look at our dividends. All right, so we had 1,500 shares. We got paid 0.0848 for $127.20. Next, we got Misty. Misty's at $10.75. It's down 14 cents in the overnight market. All right, so that's market value is 10,750. We're down $14,946. I don't know what's going on with Misty other than volatility must be low in MicroStrategy. So we have 1,000 shares. Average cost is $25.70. Now, that's a big difference. I would love to get some more Misty to bring down this average cost because I would feel so bad. Let's say in 3 months, Misty started to move up all of a sudden. And I had the opportunity to get this average cost down and I didn't do it. All right. So it's depend. This is what I'm talking about nibbling. This is where I could possibly start adding maybe 100 shares here and there, right? That's $15 difference. Ooh, that if you bought some, if we bought some, ooh, that would be, yes. Okay, so let's ask ChatGPT what would happen if I were to add 500 shares to Misty. What would be my new average cost? All right, so if I have 1,000 shares at an average cost of $25.70, and I want to add an additional 500 shares at $10.75, what would be my new average cost? Let's see what ChatGPT tells us. All right, so my new average cost, if I were to add 500 shares at the new price, my average cost would drop from 25 to 70, 20.72 per share. Make that, let's make that, if I wanted to double that, of course, the easiest way would be just to add the price and divide it by 2, right? So if I doubled my share count in Misty, my new average cost will be $18.23. All right. So that's how you can use Chat GPT to figure those things out and tell you what you're going to get. It's all the math and stuff. If you want to pause it and read it, you can. And there's the formula. And that's the new average cost. And then I just simply changed the numbers and had it to do it again, giving the new average cost of $18.23. So that's what it would be if I doubled my position at the new price. So I would go from $25 and what, 75 cents? What was that? $25.70 to $18.23 if I double my share count in Misty. All right, let's move right along. Oh, I didn't show you. I didn't show you my dividends, did I? For Misty, my bad. All right, let's go check our dividends. All right. All right, so we had 1,000 shares at 1924.1924. That gave me $192.40 for the week in Misty. All right, next we got AMD is at 9.95. It's up 12 cents in the overnight market. My market value is at $6,766. We're down $1,373. Average cost is $11.97. 680. All right, let's check our dividend payout. All right, for 680 shares, paying 0.2321, I got $157.83. Next, we got Platy. It's up 80 cents in the overnight market. So I tell you what, let's just check, see what Palantir is right quick. Since I've already sold, let's look. It's at 203. All right. And we'll leave that up too so I can show you the transactions on that. All right. Platy, a market value is at $15,166. We're down $62. Average cost is $66.21. All right. For 230 shares, a dividend on this, we had 230 shares at $1.25. That gave us $286.67. All right, Palantir, they got their earnings at 4 p.m. on tomorrow. Is that right? Today is the 3rd. Either tomorrow or the 4th. I can't remember. All right. So let's see what I did here. All right. So you can see here, July the 3rd. So that's July, August, September, October. So about 3 months. Well, the end of October, make it almost 4 months, right? So I bought 60 shares at $133.25. Here, I bought another. Let's show more. Make sure I get all this in here right. Yep. All right. So April, see, April the 28th, I bought 25 shares at $112. May, I bought another 25 shares at 116. May the 2nd, I bought 20 shares at $123. May the 5th, I bought 25 shares at 113. 10 shares at 107. 5 shares at 130. 60 shares at 133. And 30 shares at 157. And then here on October the 31st, I sold my 150 shares at $202.06. All right. No, that was it. For a profit of 10,000, I think $500. I believe that's what the profit was on that. So pretty cool. All right. Next, we got Weeble, $10.79. It's down 3 cents in the overnight market. Our market value is at $2,158. We're down $1,052. Average cost is $16.05. 200 shares. Next, we got Hui. Is at $69.38. Oh, it's up $1.30. All right. So let's check out Hood. You know, this was one I was in too, that I wished I had built that position up and held on to it, because now it is at $148. I think we was in around 93, I think. All right. So back to Hui. Our market value is at $763. We're up $74 for an average cost of $62.60 for 11 shares. See what we got paid. All right, since we only had 11 shares, we got paid out $1.34 for $14.79. All right, next we got Tesla. Tesla is at $8.55, it's up 4 cents in the overnight market. Market value is at $1,539. We're down $572 for an average cost of $11.73 for 180 shares. Let's see what our dividend payout is, or was. 180. We got 0.1128 for $20.30. Next, we got SMCY is at $14.98, up 9 cents in the overnight market. Our market value is $2,097. We're down $1,512 for an average cost of $25.78 for 140 shares. All right, so 140 shares at 0.2586 gave us $36.20. Next, we have Supermicro Computer. It's not a dividend play, it's a swing trade play that I'm in. So $52.31 is up 35 cents in the overnight market. We're down 300, excuse me, our market value is at $2,615, and we're down $314. Average cost is $58.61 for 50 shares. This is one of those positions, sort of like Palantir and Hood, that I'm using to swing trade. So we're just waiting on the positions to move so we can take profit. So I need to be building this up while it's down. But, different things come about. All right, YBIT is at 885. Market value is at 548. We're down $327. Average cost is $14.13 for 62 shares. All right, for 62 shares, we got paid 0.1354 for $8.39. Next, we got YieldMax. YieldMax at 12.23, up 9 cents in the overnight market. Our market value is at $611.50. We're down $168. Average cost is $15.59 for 50 shares. A dividend payment, 50 shares at 0.1939 is $9.70. All right, next we got SoFi. This is another position. Yes, this is another position. All right, so 29.92 is up 24 cents. This is another position like Palantir that I was looking at, right? Doing a swing trade. Is at market value is at $748. We're up $243. Average cost is $20.18 for 25 shares. So this position I need to add to. So this baby can go to $60 and double up. So I need to I need to drop at least 5K in here, right? Yeah. So another position that we're looking at now, some of y'all may have already heard. All right. So if you haven't heard, let's take a look. All right. So Netflix stock is set to do a 10-for-1 split, and what you need to know. Let's take that as Investopedia. Let's go to Yahoo Finance. All right. So Netflix recently, we want to get to the split. Well, y'all talking about the split. We want to hear all this profit stuff. Where are you talking about the split? Come on, come on. Not talking about the split. All right, let's go back then. We want to hear somebody talk about the split. Let's go back to Investopedia. All right. So Netflix says it plans to undergo a 10-for-1 split that would take effective after the closing bell on Friday, November 14th. The move could make its stock price, which recently hovered above $1,100, more accessible to a wider range of investors. Netflix says it's planning to undergo this split in a move that could make its stock more accessible. The split, which is set to take place after closing bell on Friday the 14th, means shareholders will receive 9 new shares for every one they own headed into the split. Their overall stake in the company won't change because of it, but each share will subsequently be worth about 10% of its price before the split took place. All right, so this is something I got my eye on, right? Because if we go here to Google, right? Let's go year to date. So back here, what is this? Let's go for the year. No, year to date, year to date. All right, so back here, it was 800. So it's come down a couple times. I guess you could have got in around 8, but I thought it was lower than that. Let's go back here. So a year ago, it's $768. So it's actually taking a while to get there then. I thought it was a little bit sooner than there. Let's look at the 5-year chart. So back here in 2022, it was $175. Now I have to go to Yahoo Finance to figure. I can't remember if they had a split since then. I can't remember. But I'm thinking myself of getting in that position after they do the split. I guess I could do it before. I guess I could do it before. It said, what's the margin? Yeah, I guess I could. I guess I could buy one share, right? I might consider that, but I was thinking about doing it after the split. I have to go back and read it. What it's talking about, a 10% for those that I already own it would be a 10% increase. But anyway, SoFi, Netflix, can't remember those two. There may have been others, but Netflix and SoFi, those are some positions that I'm looking to get into that will be swing trades, but sort of growth position if I set and hold them, right? So that's the strategy on that. Enough. We're going to get moving. All right, next is AIYY, $2.45. Our market value is at $490. We're down $424. Average cost is $457, 200 shares. All right, so 200 shares at 0.053, $7.06. Next, we got Amara of Bitwise, $31.44. This is market values at 1,886. We're down $636. Our average cost is 42.05. All right, so that's almost down $10. So it would be wise for us to double this position, right? And bring down our average cost. All right, let's check the dividends that it paid. All right, so at 60 shares at $3.01, we got $180.75. All right, next is iMist. Their version of Misty is at 25.23. Market value is at 25.23 because it's one share. So we're down $25. So that is half price. So if I wanted to get in now, it would probably be maybe a wise decision. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, one share, $2.89. It was $3.75 before. It's $3.48 before that. All right. All right, and we got the 22nd Century Group, which is a bad decision that I made. All right, so it's at $243. We're down almost $1,000 for an average cost of $7.60 for 160 shares. It's at 152. Margin maintenance is 60%, so we don't want to add, but we need to. But we don't need to. We just needed to move. All right. All right, so our cash account in Charles Schwab, you can see our total cost basis at $6,581. We're down $1,023, right? All right, so our biggest position is ICOI here. That's over $3,100 invested into this position. Carvana, 6 shares. This position I want to, because it pays twice a month on the 1st and the 15th, or the 15th and 30th. This is a grayscale Ethereum. All right. You see my ICOI. Mars at 28 shares. Marnie, 34 shares. Misty, 40. Platy, 5. SMCY, 20. TSYY, 68 shares, right? All right. So here, this is what this position. So I've been adding to this position. If you've been following it, been adding. I added my first check I got from YouTube, which was $174. I look like my second check is going to be $123. I'm going to add it in here. I also put my federal and my state refund, which I just got this month. No, yeah, October. So it's been a long year waiting to get that money. I finally got it. I put that in there. Any loose change I get, I try to put it in this account since it's a cash only account. So you can see here, this is before I transferred this money over into the Robinhood account. But anyway, so this was 2 months where nothing was really happening, right? And then I decided to build a cash account. All right. So 200, 202 that month, 115 that month, 179 that month, 217 here, 287 here, and then I think I may have bought some IOC, a small position, but then I got my big position when I got my refund and put it in here, and I put it in the ICOI, so you can see getting into the position of ICOI, I had jumped my monthly dividend payout, right? So the goal for this account minimum is to get it to where it's paying out $1,100 a month. So what that $1,100 a month is going to do is going to take care. I'm going to have it on automated, where it's going to take care of two of my bills that I won't have to worry about getting money out of my active income or my passive income to handle this from my Robinhood account. It'll just be coming out of this account, going to pay those bills, and it'll just be on auto draft. Everything will be taken care of. If I can get it up to $1,100, and I may pull some money out of Robinhood account to get it there, just to boom, so I won't have to worry about those two bills. It'll be on auto draft, right? All right. So this month, or October, we made $675 um, in this cash account. So I did sell off my OT position, put it in TSYY and Coney. I sold off those and put it into maybe this TSYY, or I either put it in ICOI, because when I was crunching the numbers, ICOI was paying it out, and I was like, wow, I can get myself to that $1,100 a month very quickly. So the dividends I got, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I reinvested those back into ICOI and TSYY. All right. All right. Bitcoin, let's see where it's at. Right now, it's at 107. Ethereum is at 3,700. All right. XRP is at 242. And my big position is at 1388. All right. I can't show you all the position no more, because now when I go to the home page, it revealed personal detail information. I was going to show it tonight, show you my number of tokens. And I said, wait a minute, when did they change that? So, all right. That's YieldMax website. Is by Bad Financial Decision. If I'll go check her YouTube channel out, she created all this, and it is very good. If you want to have some guidance on about, if you invested, say, 40,000, right? This is what you can expect to get paid out if you had these positions. That's your weekly, that's your monthly, that's about your annual. So I put 40,000 right now. It's 21. Probably going to be ICOI will probably be the biggest thing that's going to pay. I'll see that is 4,100. All right. Keep going till we get down here. Right. And that's 48. So COYY. These Coney positions, all these coin based that are Coney, or their version of Coney, it seems to be the highest paying one. COYY, that's by Granite shares. It's 1372. They paid out 38.57 that week, right? So that's paying better than Coney, right? All right. But it's their version of Coney, right? Granite shares. Here you got TSLW. All right. Here we got that other position I like. That's saying 5,499. This is by Grayscale Ethereum. That's the one I told you over here that I got right there. Only got 5 shares, but we're going to build that up. All right. And that pays bi-monthly. All right. 40,000 into Trying to see the highest based on the last payout. Nothing is significantly. ICOI 5,000. So ETHCO and ICOI seem to be the highest if you were to invest $40,000 right now based on the last distribution. Just checking here. Yep, that's it. Seems to be the highest. All right, let's keep moving because we're at the 45-minute mark. All right, Divi Tracker. Divi Tracker has me having an annual distribution now looking at 213,000, almost 214,000. Monthly distribution, it has it at $17,829. All right. So 269,000 is what I have invested. That's including margin and what I'm down and everything. All right, my margin is at 114. My value in my account is at 67. I'm down overall $87,000 total. My day was up $6,700, right? So that's what we're looking like. All right, so it has me here, shows you as the months goes by. TSYY, $56.19 declared. It has ICOI estimated to be at $6,709. Platy, 1,171. And Coney, where is it at for the week? Do I see Coney? Oh, it has. Oh, for the month, Coney is at $6,456. So those are my two positions. As far as payouts concerned, ICOI and Coney. One is $6,400 and the other is $6,700, right? So that's where the bulk of my stuff is at. All right, moving right along. All right, Snowball Analytics. All right, values there. Total profit, blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. We got anything interesting? All right, so over the next 12 months, it has 201,000 versus Divi Tracker's 213. I think I don't know where Divi Tracker gets their information. I mean, it gets it from my account, right? But their algorithm is a little bit different than Snowball Analytics. Now, Snowball Analytics seems to be a more realistic value when I can compare it to my spreadsheet. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. It's an Excel spreadsheet. All right, so let's let's do that. Anyway, we here, so we'll finish this out and then we'll go to the spreadsheet. Almost forgot about the Excel spreadsheet. But anyway, you can see it has me right here averaging $16,705 over the next 12 months. All right, so that's pretty good. As you can see here, it's got. Is this for November? All right, so it has three payments for Coney. I see at $1,371. ICOI is at 6,700. So it has almost identical with Divi Tracker right there, $6,700 for ICOI. All right. So it's got multiple payments for the weeks. All right. All right. All right. So I wanted you all to see this right here. See this? It says high yield ETF, the truth about NAV and return on capital and reverse split. All right. But first, let's just hit this up, right? Man. All right. Mike Lester, if you're listening, you say, yeah, I like all your bumps and how you just be rambling. All right, so that's what I'm doing. All right, I'm skipping over stuff. Right. All right, so here, this is showing you. It says the amount of dividends for the next 12 months. The upper value is the full amount of dividends, and the lower value is the amount of dividends per share. All right, so the next 12 months, it's saying that in ICOI, over the next 12 months now, this is what it's saying, that I should make $80,000 on ICOI right now with what I have. 1,705 shares, invested 50,000, and over the next 12 months, this is what I was telling y'all about earlier about total return. In the next 12 months, I should make 80,000. That's more than what I got invested. All right. Over here, Coney, in the next 12 months, it's saying I should make 71,000. The current value that I have in that account is 76,000. All right, and I need 57,000 to be in house money. All right, Clayty, I need over the next 12 months, I'll be making 15. Misty, 10,000 over the next 12 months. AMD, 8,200 over the next 12 months. Ulti, 6,600 over the next 12 months. Imara, $2,100 over the next 12 months. SMCY, $2,100 over the next 12 months. Now, obviously, the share positions are lower, right? So that's the only reason why it's dropping. So Tesla, $1,000 over the next 12 months. Hui, $768 over the next 12 months. GSYY 700, YieldMax 504, Maro 491, YBIT 436, Kavana 226, Eco 124, AIYY 84, Murney 55, I miss 34. All right, so over the next 12 months, I should be making 100, just over 200,000, right? Now that's going to fluctuate depending on the dividends. If the dividends over all my positions decrease, it's going to be less. But if they go up higher than what they're paying now, then it's going to be even more, right? All right. So we're just going to get right here. All right. Dividends received so far 123,000. All right. So 123,000 plus profit and losses. I'm down 86,000 overall. So that gives me total profit of $37,810. $37,810. That's down, I think, from some of the prior videos because I think I was hitting about 41, right? All right, so this is what I got here. I, I I'm gonna pause this and let you all. I'm gonna maybe hold it for 5 or 10 seconds. You all can pause and read this. I was gonna read it, but due to the time, I'm gonna just pause and let you all. But it's talking about high yield ETFs, the truth about NAV, return on capital, and reverse split. All right, begin reading. All right, that's about 5 seconds. I'm gonna let you all pause it. I'm gonna scroll down. All right, get right here. All right, we're gonna look at the charts. And this is with the dividends reinvested in Ulti versus SPY. I know some of y'all like, hey, but just read, see what he's saying, get an understanding. All right, understanding the return on capital. I'm gonna give it 5 seconds. Y'all can pause it and read that. All right, moving right along. All right, moving right along. All right, will it let me click on that? Let's see. All right, yeah, that way you all can see what that looks like. Yeah, I'm not trying to prove a point. I'm just providing information, right? Because I got to go back and read this again myself, right? I don't know if it can get any bigger than that. Let's see if I hit this. Will it make it bigger? Nope. All right. Move right along. All right. Moving right along. Let's click on it now. All right. It's moving right along. How to interpret it. Give you 5 seconds to read that, or you can pause it. All right. Moving right along. All right. All right. And let's look at some of the comments from different ones. I haven't gotten this far, but I'm going to let you all pause it and read. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's see if there's some more comments. Yep. I messed up and got it out of line here. Let's move right along. All right. I hope that information was valuable. If you was listening, still listening at this point in time. All right. So let's get to my Excel spreadsheet. All right. All right. So active income for the month of October sits at $3,819.67, bringing our total active income to $43,376.85. Paying my tithes, that's $4,337.69. All right. All right. So passive income. Last week we were at $9,685.02. Adding our dividends that we got this past week, bringing our October distribution to a all-time year high. Well, since I've been dealing these high yield ETFs, I have gotten a higher distribution for a month. I got over 17,000. Excuse me. I got over 17,000 um in 2023 or 2020 2022 or 2023. I invested in a stock called Zim, which is a shipping company out of Israel, and they paid $6.40 per share, and I received over $17,000 in one lump sum. All right, but combined in multiple positions, this month I've gotten $16,113.61. So year to date, that's an all-time high. And we're looking for these next 2 months to be as equal or more than this. All right. So that brings our passive income year to date at $90,367.61. All right. So passive income and active income combined sits at $133,744. All right. Our average active income, $4,395 a month. Passive income now sits at $9,036.76 per month on average, right? All right, our prior margin balance was at $123,430. It now sits at a reduced amount of $114,888.39. Our Robinhood goal stands at $50,000 year to date. That's what they've charged me in interest year to date in Robinhood account for using margin. Now sits at $3,524.41, which is an average of $352 per month. All right. Our 401k, it's probably a little bit reduced more than that. I didn't update that. So I'll still say it's at 21,552. When I checked it, I think the other day the website was down, so I couldn't get the updated, and I forgot to check it that. But anyway, it sits at 21,552. All right. So that brings our total debt to $312,766. All right. If you look here, and October the 12th, if you look at all these outstanding balances, October the 12th, our highest outstanding debt was at $329,168.61. That has been reduced to $312,674.65. All right, let's do a little math there. All right, 329, 168.61 minus 312, 674.65. So basically, in half a month, we reduced our debt by $16,493.96 in a couple of weeks. All right. Now, over here, this is something I've added. So this is that right there, $16,113.61. This is the dividends that we accrued this month. This right here, this $10,563.93, that is the profit that we made off Palantir. 150 shares at $131 and some change. We sold it to $202.06 or 60 cents, giving us a profit of $10,563.93. So for the month of October, combined dividends and profit from sale of stock position give us a total of $26,677.54. That is what we made this month in October. $26,677.54, people. That's what we made in October. I wanted to share that with you all. All right. So our excuse me. Our total interest now stands at $24,169. For the second half of the year, interest sits at $10,889.98. All right, Robinhood deposit. We last deposited $175.52 in the month of September. Our total deposit for Robinhood is at $1,885.92. Robinhood withdrawals. We last withdrew $300.03 on October the 12th. I know it was October, so it must have been October the 12th. Right? So a total withdrawal from the account is $11,048.22. All right, so if we still had in there Our account balance in Robinhood would possibly, we ain't got Robinhood open. Let's pull it up. So potentially instead of seeing 62, you would be seeing 72,000 there if I had not withdrew anything, potentially. All right. Let's get back here. All right. So we had our top 3 positions. Now we got our top 4 position. ICOI has made the cut. All right, Tony, investment wise, we have invested $127,560. Now, if you're still listening at this video at this time, remember I said 150,000 or 15,000 shares will give you enough money to potentially retire or have a nice passive income stream of income should something unfortunate happening to you where you were not able physically to go to work, but you would have this residual passive income coming in, this cash flow. All right. So we've made $70,300 in our Coney position. We are $57,259 away from house money, and that is 55%. All right, ICOI, we've invested $57,900. We've made $3,931. That's over the past 2 months. We are $53,968 away from house money. We're at 7%. Misty, we invested $26,142 in this account. We have made $23,839.40. We are $2,303. We are $2,303.20 away from house money. That is 91% complete. OT, we've invested $10,849.09. We made $4,224.99. We are $6,624.10 away from house money at 39%. Overall, our top 4 position, we have invested $222,451.77, and we have made $102,296.92, and we are $120,154.85 away. We are 46% complete on that. All right, we're at an hour, so let's get to our Q&A section. All right, let's go back here, see if there's any 7 hours ago. So this fairly new. Rest of it looked like it was over 9 days ago. So 14 Sniper Wolf says, do you think Bitwise will be weekly after a while? I said, I honestly don't have any idea. Bitwise is new to me. I don't know much about them, to be honest. Will they be weekly? Is it possibly if they feel pressure to do that, then it will. If they say, you know what, I like the way we got it set up, we don't want to do that, then it won't. Right now, I'm perfectly okay with it being monthly. But yeah, I'm okay with it being monthly. I like to still keep something monthly, but I wouldn't be mad if they did, but it's okay right now. 9 days, 9 days, 9 days. So that's old stuff. All right. So in that video, we had 534 views, total of 13 comments. Next, we got this one, which is our last week portfolio review. All right. Dennis says, your Midwest brother. How's everything, Mr. Coinbase King? Making all that money. Thanks for your videos, all your knowledge and content. So what's your next big purchase? Take care, stay blessed. Same to you, my brother. Stay blessed out there. I said, thank you, Dennis, my Midwest brother. Coinbase had good earnings report from my understanding. Hopefully, that's a catalyst going forward for anything related to Coinbase ETF. That's Granite Shares, Round Hill, RobinHood, Neos. A lot of them have a Coinbase position. A Coney type ETF, or they have a Misty type ETF, or a Robinhood type ETF. All right. What did I say? I said, thank you, my Midwest brother. Coinbase had good earnings report from my understanding. Hopefully that's a catalyst going forward for anything related to Coinbase ETF. Check out the last 3 short videos that I dropped today. That will give you some insight on the moves I just made. I do have my eyes on SoFi and Netflix. Wow. Oh, that was out there twice. I don't know how that happened. Sometimes it does stuff like that. Hmm. All right, my good friend Mike Lester says, Yabba dabba doo, my G. Great weekly review. I love waking up to these. Man, I love you watching them. And anyone else um, that's traveling. Who's that? Who is that? Man, I'm forgetting your name, man. You said you would. Might have just been Dennis. Can't remember. Man, I'm sorry. So many comments. But anyway, um, all right, he says, oh, this dude, YieldMaxMindset, he said, wow, my brother, you're making me feel very appreciated with gratitude. Man, thank you for viewing my content. Sometimes it's not the most organized, but I try to get it out there. Thank you. Much love. Um, it got 1 like. He says, anytime, bro, you do a better than I would if I, excuse me, let's do it again. Anytime, bro, you do a lot better than I would if it was me, laughing out loud. Give yourself credit, my friend. I love that it's raw and honest, bumpy rides and all. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. He says, um, I think that's Uber version of, I think that's hood version of Uber. He said, UBEW is next on my radar. If it keeps doing well, that 100% maintenance is a turnoff. But it will change. But it will change in due time. Yes, it will. I think after they get that first dividend paid out. Now, with it being weekly, I don't know if it's going to be that early. But generally, when it was monthly and it dropped that first distribution, then that maintenance will change. I said, let's go get that money rolling. Oh, I don't know what I was saying, rolling in something. Um, it'll drop after the first. Yep, that's what I was saying. He was showing some love, or showing him some love. He said, "Yeah, boy." That was 4 hours ago. Okay. All right, love your life. He said my average for a PLT is $90. Ooh, he's got a good average price, man. If he's got a lot of shares, he's up some dough. He says, knowing how they are closely connected with plans that the government has for a national surveillance system and facial recognition. It sounds like something that China has already in place. It says, and how it will tie in with the digital ID that is about to slowly push out nationally. It will reach high 3 digits to 4 digits within the next couple of years. So he's saying like $800 to $1,000 is in the next couple of years. So I will probably, when I get some myself settled, I will probably get back into Palantir on a dip, on a pullback. That could run up to $300 for a cool off again, right? But anyway, I said, well, I sold my position today because I needed to make a move, but I do plan to get back in on some dips and ride it up. Thank you for this valuable information. Love your life. I said, Mike, he has revealed some things that I wasn't aware of. Um, he says, me too, some of it. I don't approve of the digital ID. It is foreseeable in the USA. My thing, but all that stuff will def make Palantir shoot to the moon. Mike also says, I noticed great score best, bro. No fault in taking gains cause I do it with my Nvidia at times when it pops off. Laughing out loud. ATM I receive on what is this? ATM all time. I think it's an ATM. I've reached all time monthly, all time something. I've reached a milestone of 125 shares of each. Okay, he's got 125 shares in Nvidia, 125 shares of Palantir, 125 shares in Hood. Now, he has to be in profit in each one of those. Knowing Mike, he got in at a good price and he is up. He said, check this out, all bought with free dividend cash. So, if I understand him correctly, when he got paid dividends, he took his dividends and bought into these positions. Smart, man, smart. I'm letting them sit for a while in hopes that all three reach triple digits someday. He said that they all will reach triple digits. It's already in triple digits. Hmm. The ultimate plan is to have massive profits and dividends at the same time once I'm old. Oh man, you got plenty of time, Mike. He Lovely Life replied to Mike and says, if the US, he's got a little bit here. He says if the US uses it the way digital ID is used in the UK, life will get really bad for those who do not keep quiet about their disagreement with the government. Everything will be tied into a personal digital ID. From home ownership to domestic and international travel, right down to what food or items you buy in the store. Easy to lock out bank accounts assets as well. If you are deemed a threat to the nation or government's decision, Palantir has been in bed with the likes of Bedrock, JP Morgan, Elon Musk, the sister of Christine and Maxell, yeah, that one. Politicians and the wealthy elite, many countries. This stuff has been in the works for over 10 years. Now, these types of stocks are going to make major pumps once connections are made public. Money is to money is about to be made. If there is another flash crash, buy as much as possible without putting yourself in financial risk. Thank you for that information. Man, that sounds like did y'all remember seeing that movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise? Um, it had something sort of like that, I think. Sort of like a digital, um, but I think it was like a where they was preventing crimes before they was happening. But it may not be what I'm thinking. But I know they had some sort of digital information on each individual. I don't know if that's something similar. All right. I said, Mike, man, I like your game plan there, my guy. I'll keep that in mind. Just follow your blueprint. He said these positions are really taking off. He said he's got 5 shares each, but don't want to buy too much cause we obsessed with them dividends. You got that right. I said I'm writing this down. You said these positions are taking off. I'll see they're all in the same price range. Love Your Life says, I'm going to check those out. Thanks for the heads up. Yes, sir. I mean, I'm not saying that as if it came from me. I'm saying I agree with him when he said that for Mike. All right. LC 2717 says, thanks for the information. The yawning was so distraction, though. I hope you get some sleep. Well, I tried to get this video out earlier tonight, right? So far, I did some small yawnings, but nothing I hope that was noticeable. Did try to get this video out. I tried to do the Excel sheet on Saturday to give some time, and my intent was to answer the Q&A throughout the week so that I wouldn't have to come and do them all tonight. I did get a few done before now, but it still took up time. So I'm gonna try to make a conservative effort to get at least 80% of the Q&A questions done during the week, as I was once doing, and get the Excel sheet taken care of before Sunday. So all I have to do is do some small updates, get the format of the video to be laid out, and do it and get done. All right. JB Music TV said, let's go. Let's get this money on IOC. I said, that's what I'm talking about. Made some moves today. We'll see how it pans out. Thank you for viewing the content. Finance Nation says, long video. I said, you are absolutely right. Someone told me they just watched a movie. I laughed because I'm like, oh, it was an hour and 47 minutes. Kelly said, Hui, Platy, and Coney. He said, I'm thinking about using margin when I get my account to 100K. I said, all of those are pretty good plays for weekly pay. Maybe not so much Coney right now. I said, keep us updated on your strategy and good luck with margin. Do err on the side of caution and let's get that money, my brother. All right. Oh, let's go back. So that video got 369 views, 32 comments, and 17 likes and 1 dislike. This one got 42 likes and 2 dislikes. All right, let's go to this one. All right, Curtis says, looking forward to the updates tomorrow morning. I said, Mr. Washington, I hope the information was useful. The video has dropped. All right, so this video got 210 views, 2 comments. Some of those comments including mine, right? So got 22 likes and 1 dislike. All right, the next one. All right, Mr. Washington again says, looking in heavy on Platy and Hui. Thanks for the weekly meetings. I says they paid out 124 and 134. Not bad for weekly paying ETFs. Marie says, loaded Platy on margin. How much margin are you using? Are you going heavy? Are you going conservative? Best of luck. Should see your money grow from dividends going forward. He says conservative, little at a time. Dividends paid off the original margin. Throwing another 4K in. So he's doing it right. Using margin, paying that margin off. Then when it drops in, it gives him more available margin, and he's able to borrow more and proper repeat and rinse and repeat the cycle. Kelly says, oh, is that the same individual? Well, that was Maurice. All right. I said the first 2 weeks I expect, but I didn't expect to hear. The first 2 weeks I expected, but I didn't expect to hear you say Coney of the first 2 positions. I was trying to say. All right, do with that. All right, so that one got 285 likes, 7 comments, and we got 16 likes and 1 dislike. All right, next we got this one. All right, my good friend Mike Lester says, sweet first UBEW payment, my dude. I'm thinking of swapping out my NVIDIA for that because I already got a Lowe's or regular NVIDIA plus NVYY always. I says, so you think this one is going to be a good dividend payer? All right. Kelly says, loading up. I think those are the same ones. You know, he's saying the same thing, but different positions. All right. BTC Force says, terrible name, bro. YieldMax is dying while RobinHood is thriving. Oh, Roundhill is thriving. Mike says, it's about the dividends mindset. YieldMax used to be the top dollar, especially Misty. I said, BT Force, the mindset, no matter what fund or ETF you invested in, the concept is still the same. Get that money however you choose to get it. There's plenty to go around. All right, so that video got 353 views, 7 comments, 33 likes, and 1 dislike. Moving on to our shorts. All right, let's see how far we go back. Let's go back here. Brief update was 8 days ago. Is that right? So that one is O. All right. We did get a little comment here. He says he says he wants to hit his income goal first. His distribution will pay back the margin, easily. He could sell his shares or wait for his distribution to kick in. I also do the same strategy, laughing out loud. It depends on your risk tolerance. I says, you are absolutely right. The Divi tracker has me at about 17K per month. Minimum target is 15K per month. The max target I'm trying to get is 20, and going into 2026 is 20K per month. Finance Nation says more shorts. Oh, that was old. Okay. All right. So that one got 1,040 views, 8 comments, 27 likes, and 1 dislike. All right, let's hit this one. All right, Mike Lesser says, sweet ICOI payment, my dude. I'm thinking of buying a couple of Palantir 2. It's on fire, about to pop off again. I said, I'll probably be looking to make more purchase in ICOI if my monthly target isn't met. Yeah, Palantir is at $204 right now. I might get a small position on a quick profit, get back in if there's a pullback between 180 and 190 for a hold, but that might not happen anytime soon with the new partnership with NVIDIA. He says there will definitely be a dip, but my guess is not until 215 or 220, maybe even 230. It sucks and it's unfair that mostly only the elite knows when they profit is going to make intelligent guesses. All right, Ruben says, I love, 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 love. I say, yes, it is good to take profits. My bag was 10K. All right, that short got 997 views, 5 comments, and 27 likes and 0 dislikes. All right, let's hit this one up. All right, Smokem says, what's the amount of dividends received so far? I said the total dividends for Kona received is $70,358. Smokem says, YieldMax Mindset, beautiful. Smokem says, Smokem says, not down, now down 50K, up 20. Very nice. How long have you had it? And what I did is I went back and looked at the history of Robinhood, and I posted my first purchase. It was January the 24th, 2024, 9 shares at $19.99. All right, next. All right, that one got 850 views, 5 comments, and 24 likes and 0 dislikes. All right, let's hit the Palantir. All right. Um, Lawman, Coke Llama says, I would write a cash secure put for 195 to expire after earnings. I said, one of these days I'll learn how to do options. Ruben says, good stuff, my boy. I said, thank God for allowing me to take this profit. I pray that he has more blessings in store for me. All right. Tone said, is this market as scummy as Forex with manipulation, stop hunting, and stuff? I said, I haven't gotten into Forex. I can't speak on that. I never dealt with it. People who are in stock and who are stock do say that there is market manipulation, but with YouTube channels like Chris saying Stocks with Josh, Kenny and Grace, Uncle Larry, Stock Mode, their guidance will help you win. Pocket Chain Pro says, well done, big gains. I say, yes, it feels good to take a little profit from all the opportunities that I messed up and then take profits. All right, that video got 947 views, 8 comments, and 100% on the likes, no dislikes. All right. User says, I don't understand how the margin works. Can you explain it to me? Thanks. Um, Charm Charmise says just a loan and a payment on monthly interest. Never do margin, this individual said. Replied to him, I said, here's some information from ChatGPT on margin. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to actually read all that, but I will give it 5 seconds and you all can pause and read. All right, move it on down. All right, let you pause and read. All right, pause and let you read. Let's pull it back up right there. All right, let's move it on down. Number 5, we're going to leave it right there. All right, we're going to move it on down. Key takeaways. Let you all pause and read. All righty. All right. I said, what happened, man? This was to the guy who said, don't use margin. User says, thanks for your information. All right. Mad Tar Sink says, look at NG Nexus. And I said, I'm looking, something wrong. I don't see any dividends. He said, there's 2 of them. One of them with the P is dividends. And then I put this in there because I could not still find what he was talking about. I could not find it. Dizzy says, just bought my first 51 shares today. And I'm assuming he's talking about ICOI. Yeah. I said, congratulations. I just hope the price stays up and the dividends keeps coming like they've been coming. Coinbase has a nice earnings, so let's see if we can get some motion going upward. Tros, excuse me. Tros says, I love. I said, yes, indeed. All right, so that video got 713 views, 15 comments, and 100% again on the likes. All right, let's hit this one. All right, code 77799 says 114K in margin. Bro, you not worried about the earnings the days are going on now? Wouldn't that can pull whole portfolio down? I said, no, sir. Not when I'm making 15 to 20K in dividends going forward. I could literally wipe that out in 5 to 6 months if I focus all my dividends to pay the margin. But I don't need to pay the margin off. He says, I saw many people selling all the earnings ETFs, hoping they fall to buy them back at a lower price. I said everyone has different investment strategies, and that strategy that you speak of definitely works because all you would need to do is set a stop limit order and buy back at a lower price, getting a better cost average and gaining more shares. Right now, I'm mainly just building my position and dollar cost averaging down. All right. So that video got so far 620 views, 4 comments, and 100% on the likes again. All right. Post. All right, let's go this far back. Let's go back here and see. 'Cause I don't know. 7 days ago. All right, so next one up. All right, here we go. All right, 7 days ago. Laman says, keep those dividends coming. I said, if it's the Lord's will, I promise I won't stop posting anything. Uh, Lost from Light 777 says, man, how many shares you got in OT and Coney? I said in OT I have 1,501 shares, and in Coney I have 11,600 shares. He says, oh man, 1,500? Ain't that much? Ain't that much? Bet, but geez, 11,600 shares for Coney. I only got 680 left in allow. I said, quick update. I just increased my Coney shares to 12,000 on this past Friday. Mike West says, man, that's good, bro. I'm getting out of crypto to get into ETFs now. Ricardo Hernandez says, do both. Yeah, I said I agree 100% with Hernandez. Do both, which is actually what I'm doing. My biggest position in crypto is CRO over 302 tokens at this very moment, and I'm up over 24,000 in profit at crypto.com and Trump, a media company from the partnership. It ran up as far as $82,000 in profit, and of course, I didn't say sell anything. That's what I didn't say anything. I didn't sell anything. Wow. Let's edit that. I didn't sell. All right. That's 9 days ago. Okay. Let's read some of this. Oh, okay. I'm just going to pause if y'all want to read that. All right. All right. Where we at? All right. So that post got 15 comments and 30 likes. All right. Next. Is that right? Right here. Should be next, I think. Or did I miss it? Yep. Right here. Sorry. All right. Hemi says, I'm thinking about grabbing some this Monday. And I think this was the post regarding ICOI. All right. This individual says, need to get more ICOI. I says, trust me, I am scheming and plotting to make another large purchase. I plan to sell Palantir as soon as it hit 200 and take that money and put it in the ICOI. I would love to get it while it's at $31 mark. He says, good strategy, bro. What do you think of BLOX? I said, I haven't followed that, but at a glance, it looks good. Now, the intent was to put all that, which would have been about 30,000. I probably was going to use another 10,000, right? And buy some. So I technically would have got 980 shares, but I only bought 800. So I still didn't meet my target goal. I think I have to find something to get there. All right. Mike says, congratulations, bro. Both of us massively Tuesday. Yep, I got about $3,700. He said fire. He said, wow. All right. So that post got 9 comments and 33 likes. Next, we got Pocket Change Pro. He says, you are a legend for these posts. Keep it up, boss. Much love. I said, thank you, sir. I will do my best. Um, this individual says, poor Ulti. I said, sitting at 497 right now. Absolute Truty, I think. Ruti says, man, Ulti's cutting corners lately. He said it's becoming a train wreck towards the end of the year. Every week is uglier than the week before. Shaking my head. I said they need to find a way to get this baby back up to $6 or more. All right. That post got 7 comments and 34 likes. All right. Mike Lopez says Trump just needs to stay true for you. Stay true for you. I know that's not what he's saying, but I can't say what he says. It's not. If not, it's going to keep going down on the good side and keep buying the dip after he done in office. It'll skyrocket. All right. 36X, 360X says, I will admit, as of lately, I'm scared with what's going on with OT. I said, I personally haven't bought any more. I've just been holding and making other moves. I'll come back and sort things and make a decision. He says, that's the same. He says, that's the name of the game. Everything is down because of the economy and tariffs, government shutdown, etc. I'll go up crazy after all this. All right. That one got 5 comments and 32 likes. All right. This next one, we're almost done, people. Oh, no one commented in this one? All right. Cool. But it did get 20 likes. Okay, great. All right. So what post was this? When should I sell my Palantir? It's not showing up. What post is this? When should this was a poll I did. That's right. This was a poll. Okay. All right. This was a poll. All right. Rick says don't sell. I said just so moved on, my brother. Mike Lester says I'll say somewhere in the middle, my brother, around 215 to 220. It may drop if you try for 230. Um, Anthony says keep it until it hits 20K profit. Boy, that would have been hard, Mike. I mean, Anthony. That would have been hard. Now, unless it ran up real hard. And if that thing end up running up and jumping $20, I ain't gonna lie. Oh, I just sniffed. Sorry about that. Um, if that thing runs up this week, $20 or $50 per share, I will be sick. I will be sick. All right. I says I would have loved. I said I would have loved to do that. I'll find me another position to do it with, but I needed to make a move to put some things in motion. Um, Lisa says Palantir gonna hit higher, ride it. I say you're right. I probably should have stayed with the partnership with Nvidia and Palantir. Probably will make a nice run up for the year. Uh, this individual says I would have never sold. I would have just held it. I say if I didn't need the money, I probably would have held. He says, is Coney an option? I said, laughing out loud, no, I see you. All right, so that poll got 11 comments and 66 response and 6 likes. All right, the last one, people. Man, we still at 140 something minutes. Mm, 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 mm. The timer ain't moving on that. Hope this video is still recorded. All right, it ain't moving. All right. Uh, Hemi says, "Are you going? Are you going? Are you gonna? Oh, you gonna up your YMAX position?" I says, "Not anytime soon. At the moment, not anytime soon. At the moment, once I get settled in another position, I'll probably add and bring down my average cost." Craven God says, "Why you so, dude?" I said, I know. It'll probably run up after the earnings with the partnership with NVIDIA, but I had other things and was waiting on this. So I had to go ahead and make this move, trying to set myself up for this 15 to 20K a month going into 2026. All right. So this is YieldMax Mindset. If you all are still listening at this video at this point in time, I thought we was gonna get this thing down to at least an hour and 20, hour and 30, but it's another hour and 40 something minute video. I hope you all find the information here useful. Please like, share, hit the dislike button if you dislike it, but please like and share. All right. Um, God bless you all. God keep you all safe. I'm out. Y'all enjoy your week. Let's get this money.